Wukong this patch received mostly animation and camera rotation improvements. You can now more freely move your camera with the C, Shift E, space, Shift LMB, and its LMB flow, as well as WRMB skills. This will make it less clunky for some grind spots, not entirely going to translate to better efficiency, but it will improve your grind somewhat. They also removed collision from WC, Shift LMB and its flow, and WRMB. These changes are one of those you need to experience on live servers as you grind to really appreciate the improvement in PvE. Fighting Buddha was also buffed. We now consume less dough energy when we use our enhanced skills. This means less energy management, less stressing out about your gourd skill not hitting a monster because you were camera locked or the monsters had already been wiped. It's a good change. They fixed both of these issues I had with that skill in this patch, so I'm happy with that. Buddha's Finger, which was our RMB flow when airborne, even though the tooltip here doesn't reflect it, it does now use the LMB input instead of RMB, and the cooldown was reduced from 7 seconds to 5 seconds. This means the add-ons for this skill are also reduced in the tier they are from 2 to 1, but that's not really a big deal. Overall, it's a good change that allows you to use the skill more often. WC was a movement skill that allowed you to launch yourself forward even from higher areas, but the falling animation would proc too much even in the places that weren't that high. This change makes it so you can use it from a higher elevation without getting the falling animation, though I found the limit to be pretty restrictive still in most cases on test server. We'll see on live. Our gourd skill or C HP recovery on hit effect was nerfed from 400 to 200 per hit. Not a huge difference since they went ahead and added a 100 HP recovery on hit effect on our Shift F skill. This skill has a large circular AoE around you, so in PvE you'll likely see an improvement in your HP sustain compared to before. Lastly, they fixed some animation bugs and movement inconsistencies with Wukong, as well as added the attack and cast speed debuff effect to the Shift RMB skill tooltip. This effect was always in place. Even in pre-testing, they just forgot to include it in the tooltip. It's a 15% attack and cast speed debuff for 5 seconds. These may not be super flashy changes for Wukong, but remember, it's still early days for the class. I'd rather them fix the clunkiness of some skills before pushing damage too quickly. Skills like Shift E, for example, are honestly useless for the most part. I'd like for them to change it slightly while keeping the whimsical nature of that ability. Something maybe like a reverse Nimbus that has you move straight back from use. That might work. This would give you, as Wukong, a way to engage from afar, deal some damage, and then you have an actual way to get out of that engagement instead of committing 100%. It would also make it somewhat useful in PvE if it remains iframe in PvE. But right now, that skill in particular, the Shift E skill, is just way too clunky even with today's changes.